Hey, it's Bunny, and I wanted to come on here and talk about how Black women solidarity was never a thing. The sisterhood never existed. I'm so sorry to break the news to y'all. But you're not going to lie to me and gaslight me into thinking that this was, a thing. So we'll watch a TikTok and then I'll just cut in.
Where are all the black American girlies? There's a major gap in content and it needs to be filled. Every time I see a black girlie who, from a professional career to a professional content creator, she's got a wall full of PR, brand deal, brand trip, etc. She's not us. She's West African, Caribbean, maybe even a UK girl, and no shade to those girls because they're clearly putting in the work. But it's just like,
Okay, I'm gonna cut in there. So I respect and I love the fact that she didn't do the whole thing of, oh, they're getting it, and so I'm mad, and oh, they don't deserve it, and oh, it's because they fit into this Eurocentric type of beauty or something like that, right? Um, but I'm a bit confused as to why she's confused. Number one, I think they get different opportunities. Well, we get different opportunities, right? Because of image differences. I think there's a difference between the image of a Black American girl and, say, a West African girl and things like that, right? There's a different image, there's a different culture, and people view you differently. Like I've heard some wild stuff, right? And people who are West African or from different countries but are still Black, right? They'll tell you, um, we get a different treatment and we get talked to in a different treatment. It's really, really weird, right? And part of me hates it because I feel like everybody is deserving of respect, baseline respect, right? And, access to opportunities to an extent, right? Um, but like, yeah, it's like, why are you so first of all, let's really stop the lying. Y'all don't like each other. Yeah, y'all don't like each other at all. Um, we can talk about Money Long. We can talk about Glorilla, anybody, Megan the Stallion. As much as y'all claim to like Megan so much, y'all are also one of her number one haters behind Black men. Um, but sure, but sure, let's just keep lying and act like that y'all we've seen it before, right? I remember I made that video about the girl, how dark skinned unambiguous Black woman didn't want colorism to end, and I used I don't know her name, but that TikToker, right? And how when she was doing she said how she was doing her Instagram, type of baddie aesthetic, right? And the Black women loved her and stuff like that. But as soon as she started dressing more like modestly and more falling into the Black woman and luxury aesthetic, again, y'all said y'all wanted the more Black women and luxury and soft life and stuff like that. And we're cranking out the femininity courses, right? But when femininity showed up, when that image started being promoted more, women like her were being called whitewashed, and I think she even lost her TikTok because y'all were reporting her so much, right? So let's not pretend like y'all actually like each other, right? And you do stuff like that. Y'all threaten when people like Money Long, right? Y'all will support them, but as soon as they say something that you don't like, all of a sudden you're gonna cancel them. But not the men, though. Not the men. Chris Brown can stay. Chris Brown can stay. All the dirty abusers like R. Kelly and P. Diddy, they can stay. Y'all love to support them, right? But no, an actual Black woman, right? Who has a positive image. Y'all don't like Black women unless it's like a sexy red. Y'all call that real. Y'all said, oh, she's being authentic. Y'all were going so hard for her. But then when she released the lipsticks, but when she called y'all carpet haired hoes. Now y'all were upset. Now y'all were like, we need to cancel her. She needs to, you know, not be here, and she shouldn't have a platform, and no, she's doing a minstrel show and she's a puppet and stuff like that. She's an industry plant. But y'all loved her. Y'all said she was real. Y'all said she was like your cousin Titi. So I'm confused. Y'all loved her then. So yeah. The thing is, there's a gap in the content because y'all simply don't want to see it. That's the thing. Y'all don't want to see it. If y'all did, y'all would support it. Y'all were talking about, I even remember it. There's so many examples of this, right? Y'all were talking about, oh, we don't want hypersexualized music and stuff like that. We want more, feminine, and where's the pop girlies? Bree Runway, y'all don't really give a fuck about her, right? Like, is she from the UK? But like, y'all said y'all wanted more pop stars. Y'all said all of this stuff, but y'all seem to not support and then complain after. Oh, why are we not getting opportunities? Y'all don't support each other. Y'all literally don't. Y'all would rather support mixed looking women or, just straight up non-black women so that you don't have to look at your own image because you don't like it. We know this. We've seen and heard so many of you say, "Oh, I don't like being black. I wish I was this. Oh, if I was light skinned, if I was mixed, I would do all of these things. A whole new world would open up for me." So it's like, yeah, of course. This is not surprising news to
Work.
me.
But it's just like, where are the girls who are my girl? And I think I've noticed it because I've had to fill this gap multiple times in my life, like personally, whether it be friend groups, majors, work, even. I was one of one in anthropology, one of two in my last master's, and don't even get me started on my career. But it's just like, where are we?
Okay. So I found what she said interesting. Um, but like, let's be honest. We see majority of people these days want to be influencers or do something social media wise, right? I don't hear like if you ask the youth of today what they want to be, every one of them, a lot of them say they want to be YouTubers, they want to be a TikToker or something like that, right? So, and I see that it's more prevalent in the Black community, right? So if we're taking that into account, and also with the history of what's it called? Every single time they, how do I put this? With Black men, for example, right? They get told the opportunities that they, well in general, um with the Black community, it's always like either you're an athlete or you're a singer, like that. They praise being in entertainment roles and things like that, being in the public eye. I realize that a lot. They really really want to be on a pedestal in the public eye, right? I guess because they feel like they don't have one, according to them. you know and so if we're taking that into account, why would they be in things like that? And also, like, anthropology I'm talking about, right? So anthropology, I searched, is the study of humankind, exploring human origins, culture, societies, and their biological and behavioral, oh my God. Yeah, behavioral traits. Um, if they were to study that, it would let's start with, like, you know, a lot of Black people, a lot of Black women believe, oh, we have the Eve gene. We're the first of. They always say, oh, we're the first of everything. We're original and stuff like that. Even claiming to be, the real Jewish people, the real, Native Americans, right? Anthropology would literally twist their brains. That would mean that they wouldn't be able to lie about being the first everything, right? Yes, life started in East Africa, right? But not everyone, not every society is Black, not every ancient society is Black. And they really don't understand that concept because of their low, you know, racial self-esteem, honestly. They want to be something so bad. That's why they attach themselves to mixed people so bad. That's why they only prop up mixed people. Oh, where are we? Y'all only support and view mixed people and non-black people. Y'all are so busy watching mixed people and mixed passing people and non-black people that y'all don't even want to support each other. Oh, where are we? Why are you surprised? Why are you surprised? Y'all don't like each other. Y'all don't support each other at all. It's like I'm confused about the confusion. There's no solidarity. Y'all are lying. Also, something that I don't see being mentioned, right, is that I think it would be easier for somebody who's from the diaspora, right, to in a way be able to get along and be able to network to be able to be in some of those positions, right? Because there's not that racial tension, there's not that same type of racial insecurity, right? Um, that I see personally, right? So there's not that same type of tension between Black Americans, between a say a Black Caribbean person, right? And let's assume that the person who's giving the PR or something like that, right? Or the sponsorship is a white person. I don't think there would be the same type of tension um, versus a white person with a Black American. It just wouldn't be the same thing, you know? But yeah, I don't. Also, I forgot to mention they would 100,000%, 1,000% say that anthropology and jobs like that are white people stuff. They would. So I don't, even with jobs like nursing, right? They always have to say, oh, black nurses and stuff like that. And oh, you know, it's like nurse, you don't have to do this, right? It's almost like they feel like, oh, since I'm in a professional position, I have to really play up that, I'm black and I'm hood and I'm down and I'm real. So,
Where are
yeah.
we? Like, we are so much more than a stereotype and being popular online for working at nightlife or being rapper, singer, baller's girlfriend or baby mama. In no shape.
I think what she said just then is part of the reason why. So if I see majority of Black American women playing into the baddie aesthetic, right? And so take someone, for example, Ari Fletcher, right? The sponsorships that well, I don't know her. Like I'm not really on her page or anything like that, right? But I'm assuming the sponsorships that she gets, right? And observing YouTubers and stuff like that, right? Um, they mostly get wig companies. Black female YouTubers get wig companies and urban, you know, what's it called? Clothing brands, and maybe they'll get like skincare and a black skincare brand or something like that, right? But like they're not receiving the same type of sponsorships, and especially because their audience and their target audience is, their target audience is different. Their reach is different. Y'all always say that bl- black people aren't as like popular and it's harder to be like a black YouTuber because you don't get pushed as much, right? So why would you be getting the same sponsorships if you're not as popular, you know, on a international scale, you know? And it's sad, but at the same time, it's let's be realistic about, y'all are a minority. Black people in America are a minority, and I feel like because I think it's a thing of being monocultural and not understanding that there's because you're around so many black people all the time, you think, oh, I should there should be more for me. There should be more sponsorships and stuff like that. And oh, why can't I get this? Well, you don't have that reach. You don't have that type of platform, right? And their target, somebody who would say they give you the sponsorship, right? Would your followers actually engage with that company and go out and buy something from them and stuff like that, right? No, they would say that's white people stuff and ignore it. Like it wouldn't work out, you know?
Mama. Ain't no shade to those girls either, but they don't live lifestyles that are safe, stable, or attainable. And I feel like now more than
Well, that's the thing. Y'all love um things that are not stable, that are not safe. You know, y'all love stuff like that, right? Stuff that are not attainable. That's why you put and you only view women, right? Or people in general that are super rich or very mixed and stuff like that. Y'all love that. The black community loves that because they want something to aspire to really bad. They love black excellence, right? They love using that term. And that's why you're not going to, they don't like everyday women, hence their reaction to the statue, you know? So it's not surprising to me. And y'all love hood culture a lot, even though it results in your poor image and stuff like that, even though it traumatized so many of you, y'all love it. Y'all love it so much. So it's like,
I feel like now more than ever, young black girls need to see lifestyles that are safe, stable, and attainable. I just live a very particular black girl lifestyle and I don't see it online at all. Like I'm from Texas.
yeah, like I said, y'all don't like to see that lifestyle. Y'all don't, they need to see it. Yes, I agree. I agree that young black women, black girls need to see um stable and attainable lives, right? Normal everyday women, right? But you know, they y'all don't like it. And also I think black women who are like that, right? Already know that y'all don't like it. So they're like, why should I stuff like that? Why would I do that, right? There's this culture of not liking, somehow liking, loving, honestly, idolizing luxury and things like that, right? But as soon as it's not the urban type of like stereotypically black luxury idolization, right? And it's like, I don't know, before everybody was started praising Lululemon and things like that, and you know, the gamification of Lululemon. Yeah. Um, y'all would have called that white if you saw somebody getting doing a get ready with.
From Texas. I don't
Which I'm from Texas. What do you know about me? Big GLO in the GLE. I know it was from Memphis, but I just I don't know. It
Texas.
just
I don't want to be nowhere else but Texas, and I sound like I'm from Texas. I grew up in a very black area. I am not whitewashed into oblivion. You were never going to catch me in a stiff wig. Okay.
I might be reaching, but I saw, you know how she's like doing this thing. Oh, I'm from Texas. You know, I grew up in a really black area, and she had to call out the divestors who will wear the like stiff wigs and stuff like that because she's trying to like play into her blackness. You know, she's trying to remind y'all, oh, you know, I live this type of lifestyle, but I'm still down. I'm still real. You know, I'm from the hood. She's really trying, and then wonders, oh, where are all the women like that, like me? They don't want to pander to you, and y'all don't like them. So why would they do it? Y'all wouldn't accept them. So it's like,
Stiff
yeah,
wig. Okay. Putting on a Valley girl or a LA accent. What is going on? Where are the girls? Child free, master degree, living the lifestyle they want to live, doing whatever they want to do, stress free, black American girl.
I'm not going to lie. Um, you're going to be very hard pressed to find that. You're going to be very hard pressed to find that. And that's simply just because of the culture y'all have created and the culture that y'all uphold of being a baby mama, of all of that. Y'all don't like it. Y'all would rather embrace hood culture and stuff like that, knowing damn well you grew up in Calabasas, Sky Jackson. Um, but y'all love stuff like that. So it's like, you know, why are you asking questions that you already know the answer to? You know? Okay, so we're also going to watch another TikTok, right? And then I'll just go in with my commentary as well.
When I tell you guys that the sisterhood is full of contradictions, most women in the sisterhood don't really know what they want, and they lie. They lie, they lie, they lie. Like, literally, I made a post yesterday about how come it's only black women telling me that black men hate me. How come a black man isn't telling me this out their mouth? Why is it always black women that are a part of the sisterhood who is angry telling me that black men don't like me, they're not going to choose me? However, I'm still being chosen, and black men are loving me every day. On top of
Y'all, I saw that video and I screamed. I literally screamed because I was like, oh my God, they're waking up. They're realizing it. Y'all are literally just lying to each other about what's going on and saying, oh, this is happening to me, da da da, right? Meanwhile, you're just ugly. Meanwhile, you have a terrible attitude and everything like that, right? And you're just projecting onto people, especially other dark skinned black women, right? Who are unambiguous, right? And I'm so glad that we're now starting to see other unambiguous black women, right? Literally telling the truth and saying, no, this is not happening to me. Y'all are lying. Y'all are just bitter and y'all have issues, right?
On top of that, I made another post talking about how black women is blaming black men for the whole texturism issue in the black community. When the other day I had said something towards black men that another black woman didn't like, and she said, "Sis, that's why your hair don't touch your shoulders." What the fuck do one got to do with the other? But you see how when you upset the sisterhood, or when you upset black women who have not seeked out their healing, the first thing they do is attack your looks, and your looks always have to do with your hair or your skin complexion. No.
I agree with everything she's saying. Literally. Every single time. I talked about this in like, this should upload like after the Money Long video coming out, right? I hope y'all enjoy it. And like they always resort to your looks and your hair, specifically the hair and your skin complexion, right? They always say this, right? That everybody else is colorist. The mixed women are colorist, the black men are colorist, the white men are colorist, but white men love them so much, apparently, right? And they don't like mixed women, apparently, you know. But they're the main ones that I see, specifically unambiguous dark skinned black women, talking about how somebody is too dark and stuff like that. And oh, somebody's hair is too nappy. It's always y'all. It's always y'all. Take Spice for example, right? How it was a dark skinned black woman who looked exactly like her, saying that she was too dark and why does she have these opportunities and why is she so rich if she has dark skin? You know? We're not just making these things up, and this really proves it.
No black man has ever made me feel like shit for being dark skinned or for having natural hair. I always get praised for my complexion, my melanin, and for my natural hair. When a black woman gets mad, I'm always blacky. I'm always black as fuck. I'm always African. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna come up here later.
And see, yeah, these girls are lying. They're lying. They're the real colorists and texturists and all of that, right? And you know, they love to claim that they're so pro black. They're so pro black, right? But they're they're begging for white zaddy. And but biracial people, right? Oh, if a biracial person says, "Oh no, I'm not black, I'm mixed," right? Oh, how dare you? You hate yourself, da da. But y'all are literally using African as an insult when you're majority African. That's weird. It's so weird. Mm. But apparently I'm the self hater for pointing out the hypocrisies, right? While also literally telling y'all over and over again, right? I've repeated it so many times, but somehow I'm still being branded as a self hater and oh, you're a colorist and you're stuck up and stuff like that. Okay, but y'all are at night when y'all rest your when you have your bonnet on that dusty pillow. Just know I clocked your tea. And that's why you're really upset. You're really upset because I don't have to lie about who I am. I don't have to wear another woman's hair to actually be pretty. No. Yeah, I know. It's so upsetting for you. So sad for you. Hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna come up here later on today and show you guys comments that a black woman left me on Facebook the other day telling me I was African, I was an African booty scratcher. She called me blackie, a grown woman, mind you. And she's probably gonna get online later on and blame all of this on black men.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
Clock
All of
it.
this on black
This
men. I be so confused with the sisterhood. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? This is why some folks be like, you know what, women shouldn't have had rights. And sometimes I agree.
Listen, she tell she tells no lies, right? I really like her TikTok, right? But like sometimes she says like off the wall stuff, like at the end when she said, "Sometimes I agree with women not having right." Friendly fire. What? Oh, what's going on? Okay, let's chill, chill. But like, yeah, these are the same. If I can find it, if I can find the follow up video, I will put it in. I'll probably edit in here, right? And then talk more about it. But yeah, she told no lies, but we're gonna watch a reaction, right? About it, and then another woman like just talking about it and stuff like that. And I really liked what she had to say.
Come on now. Because I don't think they heard you. I don't think they heard you. Listen, listen. I've said this so many times in a couple of my videos. The most of my bullying growing up was from a black girl. I didn't have problems with white girls the way y'all be talking, like white women be out here just, racist as hell and, constantly like trying to be all up in our space or whatever the case may be. I didn't have those problems.
Yes, y'all would think the way that y'all talk about white women, right? That like y'all are like being bullied like so heavily by white women, but y'all grew up in majority black schools. A lot of y'all that said that grow grow up in majority black schools because you know. But I'm confused. How are you being so? How do you have such a negative perception and of white women when you don't even have access to them? It's weird. Somebody's lying, and it's y'all. Um, but yeah, like with my experience with white women, they just don't care. Like they're nice to me for the most part. Even the like older ones that are like big, like they don't. They've always been nice to me. I remember when my phone nearly got stolen. This woman, right? She stopped her car in the middle of the road. She was like, "Are you okay?" Da, da, da. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." This was an older white woman. She didn't have to do that. Nobody else did that but her. Like literally, y'all. It's like y'all are making it up. I really do. Unless you went to a majority white school, that's the people that are telling the truth. The people who went to majority white schools and then had these horrible experiences, I believe them 100% because it always adds up. They always have that, you know, thing that they're being real. You can tell when somebody's lying, right? Whereas it's just like, oh, I just don't like white women. And this white woman, she flipped her hair at me. Meanwhile, she just she didn't even know you existed. Y'all weren't even in the same room. But okay, yeah, it's like y'all are making it up, and I think it's time to start telling the truth and start being honest about what's actually going on instead of pointing the finger. Also, y'all claim that like white women, non-black women, and all of those women, right? Mixed women as well, right? Are like on a pedestal and like preferred, right? So why would a person who's preferred, why would somebody with so much privilege, right, try to bully you? Wouldn't they already have privilege? Like that it just doesn't add up unless they're like there's something wrong with them. They're white but they're not blonde or something like that. And I'm not saying that brunettes there's something wrong with brunettes, right? But there's obviously a hierarchy, right? Because I've heard the things that they say. Literally, right? And like it just doesn't make sense. Why would that it feels like this thing of like they feeling like you're so important, right? To people that you want the same, privileges as, like how they'll call like light skinned women, oh, you're stuck up da, da, because you don't want to be friends with us. Meanwhile, y'all didn't want to be these women's friends in the first place. It's really weird. Like I had this thing in school, right, that I guess they thought that was whitewash and stuff like that. I used to get called whitewashed all the time, right? Meanwhile, y'all were mean to me. Y'all called me whitewash. Y'all called me Oreo. Y'all said I was poor because I wore like off-brand shoes, right? When I didn't even like I was not into like name brand shoes and stuff like that. It was only when like I went to like elementary, I think, that I knew about that stuff, right? Because I was like so confused. I was like kind of sheltered, so it's like I didn't know about those stuff, right? And it's not like, oh, I couldn't afford it, right? Because later I got the shoes and stuff like that, and then it was like, oh, she has these shoes. Oh, she must be rich. She's trying to flex on us. Da da da. So it's like y'all called me poor before, and then now you're saying that I'm trying to flex on you, and then wonder why people don't want to be around you and people don't want to befriend you or give you things. It's like, oh, well, look at your behavior, you know? Also, like I've said before, like I don't believe that like mixed women or like non-black women would have to go out of their way to bully you and things like that because they're the women that I've met, right? The white women and mixed women that I've met, right? They don't feel bothered by y'all. They really don't, right? They're just existing. They give the most like mixed women that the most friendly women that I've met, right, have been mixed women or white women. They seem to compliment and, be nice to people, right? Normally, whereas y'all, right? Y'all would like stare and do weird stuff and scrunch up your face, or like I've had people do the weirdest things, like jump over, like go on their tippy toes, right? To and come up behind me on their tippy toes, right? I remember I was with my mother, right? And we was in like a store, right? And these two people, right, they came, like the unambiguous black woman, right? She came on her tippy toes, right? And peered over my head to see if it was a wig or not. Mind you, I had like a curly bob, right? It wasn't a wig, and I was in my school, like I went to like a Catholic school, right? So we had a uniform. Like I it was like, what the fuck? And my mom was so disgusted. She's like, oh my God. Da, da, da. She didn't do anything, right? But it was like, yeah, I think my mom just like looked at her like really dirty or something like that. But that was so weird. And I remember that happened to me a lot. It happens to you a lot when people, specifically unambiguous dark skinned black women, think you're different, and so they want to see, oh, is your hair a wig or not? Oh, you know, like check. You know how people like are starting to check people's knuckles and things like that? Yes, like literally every single time. Oh, I saw her knuckles, so they're darker than her. They're half a shade darker, so she must be bleaching. Meanwhile, she's been light skinned her whole fucking life, and you know this. Like, yeah.
I didn't have those problems. Majority of my bullying came from black girls. And I had to really, really overcome a lot when it came to what my blackness meant to me because of the fact that I had other girls that looked like me, right? Regardless of your shade, sis, you still black. You look like me. And y'all are sitting here putting and projecting all of your, insecurities and your traumas onto me because I'm trying to be my most authentic self. Come on. I don't know how many times every single black girl that I grew up with was always talking about how small I was because I was so petite. I had no ass, right? I have a hair problem. They was always trying to pull off my wig and make fun of me and call me bald and this, that, and the third, right? But yet white girls were always talking about, oh my God, you look so pretty. Oh my God, I love the way you dress. Oh my God, da, da, da. Come on now. I literally just had a girl in my comments section try to call me a pick me because I call y'all out on y'all bullshit. And on top of that, y'all gonna have to come up with a whole new line because that pick me sheet, that don't bother me. That don't bother me. I'm always picked, honey. I'm always picked. And it's not even about love. I'm just always picked, okay? Black men love me. I don't know what the fuck half y'all's problems is, but black men love me over here. I don't have a problem with black.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Exactly. Because literally these women are so annoying and delusional, and it's like, oh, they hate all of us. What are you talking about? Like whenever I hear people say that, I'm literally so confused because it's so easy. It's so easy. Go outside. I always say this. Go outside, stand there for a bit. Make eye contact. You don't even have to make eye contact at this point, right? He'll just walk up to you. I don't know how y'all are, like I started to think, is it because y'all are just really that ugly? But no, that's not the point. A lot of the women that I hear saying this, right? I don't think they're necessarily ugly, but they're unkempt and they're ghetto, and they have really, the major thing, you have a really terrible mindset and personality, right? A lot of y'all are so aggressive and mean and, just big and burly, to be honest, right? Oddly shaped. Y'all were saying people were built like Mexicans. Let's not do that. Let's not talk about, body shapes, because I've seen a lot of bulging guts, a lot of bulging bellies, back rolls. Mm. Let's not flabby arm bingo wings. Let's not. Being 21 with bingo wings is crazy work. Crazy work. And do y'all notice how we're pick me's, right? But we've been already picked. The only people I see screaming about pick me's and how da da da, right? And I like to be, kind of neutral and kind of, have a biased mindset, not unbiased mindset, right? Like a middle ground, right? And I think women, right? The term pick me has been like so overused and just manipulated to the point where I don't even feel I can use it anymore. Women who are hate other women and want to seek to destroy women and their take away their rights and things like that. I'm not just talking, like, y'all always say women's rights and then go instantly to abortions. Um what about voting rights? What about the ability to have your own money? Y'all are talking about the wrong things. That's the problem now. That's the problem now. Like, yes, abortions are important, but y'all are talking about the wrong things. People are out here talking, extremist people are talking about taking women, like, not being able to let women vote and stuff like that. I remember one of these, I don't know, uh, I hate to bring politics in it, but it was a conservative woman, right? Who said, oh, women shouldn't be able to vote and stuff like that. Mind you, she is a woman, right? And then they asked her, oh, what are you going to do? And then you were just like, oh, I guess she was okay with not being able to vote. Or she said something like, oh, but I'm smart, so I could vote. It's like those women are dangerous, right? Y'all have bastardized the term pick me to the point where it doesn't even hold any weight anymore, right? The women who genuinely hate other women, like y'all are calling us pick me's for actually being picked by men, being liked by men. Mind you, majority of y'all, um, majority of people, I'm assuming, are straight, right? So wouldn't it make sense from, and humans are social creatures, so wouldn't it make sense to be wanting to be picked and liked by men? You would want, biologically is ingrained to us, to be able to want to be picked, to want to be liked by people, especially if you're a straight heterosexual woman, right? Who likes men. You're going to want, unless it's like, y'all, at this point, just hate women. But the thing is, you still hate women. So it's like, I see y'all the same way I see the red pillar men, the incel men. Y'all are just very confused and self-hating, and you hate everybody else and as well. And it's just weird. And you just, it's just go into a cave and dwell there. Just please don't interact with society, because there's obviously something wrong with you. And I think we need to start admitting that there's just simply something wrong with you. It's not about the other people being, colorist or texturist or just not liking you. there's nothing to like, and there's actually something wrong with you. And if we were going to be so honest, a lot of you are mentally ill and aren't managing it well. You don't go to therapy. um it's not even like a therapy thing, right? Y'all don't have no sense of introspection. You don't have this thing in your brain. I've realized it now, right? Y'all don't have this thing in your brain where it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Was that the most effective way to deal with conflict? Maybe I could have done that better. Or what did, maybe I should ask this person what they meant so I can, you know, understand them better and connect to them, right? Y'all don't do that. Maybe I should go up to people and say hello to them instead of waiting for them to say hello to me. Do you know how many people have tried to make me feel bad for not going up to them to say hi, right? Even though they're not the friendliest people at all. And what these same people who complain about not being liked and stuff like that, when you go up to them, right? They're so mean, or they're so like, oh, they kind, you notice how they start looking around and they're just like, oh, why are they talking to me? Why would anybody want to talk to you if you're like that? And then you start asking them questions and they just cut you off and they don't really want to be bothered. And then later you hear, oh, well, Bunny was so mean to me. She was so standoffish. She's so stuck up. You're not friendly. You're not friendly. And it's because you are mentally ill. There's something wrong with you. You are socially awkward, right? And I feel sorry for you in a way because I'm like, my anxiety has been like really bad. So like I've been feeling like really more socially awkward and things like that. But at the same time, I'm still making an effort and I'm not blaming other people for my awkwardness and my shortcomings, right? Whereas with these women, every day it's, oh, there's something, oh, it's not my fault. It's because these women are taking something with me from me, right? It's always women solidarity until you are getting something over her, until you are prettier than her, until she feels threatened by you. I remember I was when I had my like my high school like friendship group, right? It was me and this Hebrew girl, and it was one of those Pan African type of people, right? And a Muslim girl, right? Who was hijabi, right? And the Hebrew girl had invited this guy, right? That she like was, I think she wanted to like go on a date with him, but like she didn't want to explicitly say that or something like that. And so she was like, oh, he's coming along, da, da. And I heard, I was in my boy crazy phase, right? So I was, well, what? Yeah, I was, right? Because I was just like, no, I'm young. I'm 21. No, I was like, what, 15, 16, something like that, right? And I was like, oh, a boy. And she saw my face, right? And I was like, oh, what is he like? What is da, 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 right? And he was like an MLS guy. I believe he was like Dominican or something, right? And um, I remember she started questioning me, and she was like, "Oh, do you like him?" Da da da, and stuff like that. I hadn't even seen the guy. We weren't even nowhere near the place, right? And then she tried to turn on me and act like I was going to steal her man or something like that. And I was like, girl, eh, you know, did I kind of? She was like, oh, do you like him? No, I don't believe she asked me, oh, do I like him? But like, oh, are you interested in him? Right. And I was like, in my head, I was like, kind of, right? But like, I don't know the guy. I've never met him. We haven't even seen him yet. Well, I've never seen him yet. Right. And so literally, but the fact that I could be possibly attracted to this guy, right? And the possibility of that was so threatening to her because I was this person, well, still this person, right, who has like a curvy body type, right, and like curly hair and stuff, like big curly hair and stuff like that. So people were always like paying attention to me in a way, right? And specifically guys, I had a lot of guy friends, male acquaintances, honestly, right? And I Y'all, I found out that she was having conversations, right? With guys about me, right? And literally, I remember she actually sent me the message one day, and it was about how this one guy, right? He was like a white guy, right? And he was just like, "Oh, she bunny is so cute, right?" And I was just like, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I think she said, oh, all of the guys must like her." And then he said, "Oh yeah, definitely. They all, think she's cute." And I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, this is like really weird. Like this is really weird. Who has like conversations about this and then you're sending to me like it's like normal? But these women, they feel like you're taking something away from them, even though, even if we were the exact same, we would still have two different outcomes. And also, let's look at reality. You're never going to be me. You're just never going to be this person that you want, that this who has completely different heritage and stuff like that. It's weird. It's weird. But it's solidarity until you feel threatened. And that's why I just don't believe that's real. It's never been real. Y'all backstab each other all the time. And yeah.
Here, I don't have a problem with black men the way y'all be having a problem with black men. I really don't. I live in a complex that's full of black men and I'm always getting good morning. I had a black man just give me a package and said, "Hey sis, I didn't want your package to be standing out here in the rain, so I brought it to your door." A black man did that for me. I don't even know the black man. He did that for me. But he knew where I lived because he lived across from me or on the other side of me. So he knew exactly where I lived. We've seen each other before, but I'm just saying I really didn't know him like that. But a black man did that for me. Come on now. Y'all have really shifted the blame because it sounds easier. Black men have been down in the dumps and, through their own oppression, through their own systematic, like everything that black men have been dealt with for decades, y'all have been fueling it as black women to them, right? And y'all sit here talking about everybody always puts us in their mouth. Why is it always about black women? Why is it always black women? Y'all are the worst fucking critics. Y'all really are. Y'all complain about everything. Y'all are rude to everybody, including your own fucking race. Listen, I'm gonna call y'all out. I'm gonna call y'all out because it's true. It's very fucking true. Y'all always got a nasty attitude. Y'all always play the victim. It's fucking true. When another black girl doesn't think like y'all or feel like y'all or having the same experience as y'all, oh, she's the problem. Let's attack her instead of actually maybe doing some work within yourself and realizing that maybe sis, you are the problem. Maybe sis, that your experiences you're having is because you're causing these experiences to continue to happen because
Y'all, she is going in and I love it. She's speaking the truth. I'm so glad the people are waking up and stuff and are like just telling the truth. Stop lying to each other. Let's stop lying about what's going on, about who's actually critiquing people so much, who's critiquing other black women so much. Every single time, I know they can guarantee every single time you post something, it's always going to be an unambiguous black woman trying to tear you down. It, y'all keep claiming that it's mixed women, it's light skinned women like big burly Clarissa Shields. But Clarissa Shields is literally fucking a man who is literally legally still married because he didn't want to sign the papers. But it's light skinned women that are hating on you and that are that the problem. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, you're the problem. Like y'all always do this where you want to blame people and it's not going to work here. The gaslighting isn't going to work. You can get me to feel sorry for you because oh I have 4C hair or I'm dark skin. Da, da. The solidarity with them, right? They are banking on the fact, well, specifically perpetual victims that are unambiguous dark skinned black women, right? Are counting on you supporting them out of solidarity, out of pity, so that they can get their dark skin 4C victim tax. That's literally it. They want it. That's the only way they can get a pedestal. That's the only way they can get anything that, any type of, you know, not even admirance or anything like that, but like, and I nearly forgot to say, um, like, remember that point I made in that Flo Milli video about how, oh, black women aren't, they say black women aren't a monolith, right? Unless you, as a black woman, dark skinned, unambiguous, dark skinned woman in general, just say, oh, I didn't really experience colorism. Now you're a self hater. Now you're a colorist. Now you're, oh, you think you're white or something like that. They make up crazy, wild, you know, lies to cope with the fact that they are having a completely different experience, because they are different, because there's something about them. I don't know what it is, right? And honestly, stop using dark skin as a handicap. Stop using it as a way to get over on people and say, oh, well, you have to be nice to me because I'm dark skinned. And if you're not, then you're a colorist. You have to pick me because I'm dark skinned. And if you don't, then you're a colorist. No, you're just not like. And y'all, I didn't even fully watch her clip, but like literally, she said the same thing that I said. Literally, like, because it's true. Like, y'all have something wrong with yourselves, and honestly, I would go as far as to say that y'all really do have some narcissistic traits, if not just a full blown narcissist, right? I think most people have like more narcissistic traits, like a sprinkle of narcissistic traits, right? Than like full blown narcissism. But like y'all just really have really um like antisocial behaviors and signs of narcissism. And it's like, why are we pretending that there's not something wrong with you and you're trying to point the finger? They have no sense of awareness, no sense of awareness, and it's so scary.
Because you don't want to look within. A lot of y'all, I just told a woman in my comment section, a lot of y'all couldn't sit with me in the darkness. Y'all would crumble real fucking bad. Y'all would crumble real fucking bad. A lot of y'all could not sit with me in the darkness. A lot of y'all could not sit with me and actually be a mirrored version of me. Y'all would crumble because I know myself. I understand a lot of the things that I needed to heal about myself. I understand I was playing the victim. I understand the role that I played and the experiences that I had, whether it was with men or just life in general. I understand the part that I played in that. Y'all don't even want to think that y'all have played a part. Y'all just want to sit here and act delusional like someone actually just picked you up and dropped you off into a negative experiences. No, sis, it didn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Like,
Yes, she is just speaking the truth, right? And I noticed this. It's so easy for them to play the victim, and they love that role. That is their favorite role. They say, oh, black women don't get roles. Y'all get victim roles all the time. So I don't know why we're complaining. Um, but like, y'all do this every time, and that's why y'all are really mad about my Halle Bailey video, because I see her for what she is. Um, and also I want to like literally clear that up a little bit. Um, I been had these thoughts. She just had the thing with DDG. The allegations just happened to come out the same time that I made this video. It was just like I was going to put all my thoughts into this video, basically. It was like a throwaway video. Like I didn't think people care that much, but y'all are trying to, make it seem like y'all want to treat each other like children so bad. Oh, I didn't get into the situation. Oh, I was forced into it. Oh, he trapped me. How are you, as a grown woman with a developed developed frontal lobe, getting tricked into situations? No, take responsibility for the situations you put yourself in. Y'all are saying that is victim blaming. No, I call it common sense. If I walk into fire, maybe I'm probably going to get burnt. You know? It's like y'all always do this where you want, oh no, da da da. No, y'all are grown. Y'all love, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Y'all love to say you're grown. Y'all love to say you're grown, you're independent. So why is it all of a sudden when consequences come about, y'all are like, and I'm not saying, oh, the alleged domestic violence is a consequence of her actions. No, that's not what I'm saying. But when when you're dating a terrible man, right? Somebody who clearly has something wrong with him. I don't know, like, I don't know why y'all keep saying, oh, he's not a Dusty. Yes, he is. Y'all keep seeing the money and thinking, oh, he's not a Dusty. That man is a Dusty. I've heard the way he speaks. I've seen who hanging out with Blueface and Kashawn. You're a Dusty. I don't care. Y'all are going on double dates with the tag teaming, couple. Huh? The same people who are fighting out in the street? Bye. But yeah, like y'all just can't sit with your demons and y'all just don't want to do any introspection, right? It's so much easier for y'all to point the finger and cry and play a victim because you don't want to do anything because you're honestly lazy. You're lazy and you have no sense of real ambition. Y'all love to say, "Oh, I'm ambitious, I'm independent." Da, da, da. I think I've seen so many black women who are ambitious in work, but in actually changing their lives and actually getting some self-esteem, healthy self-esteem, not only feeling self-esteem when a mixed woman is getting abused. Clock that T. Yeah, you need to it's so the inability and resistance that they have to doing things that in the long run would benefit them, like working out. Y'all say we're all fat phobic, but still won't work out. And I notice this white women or just non black women in general, when they see that they're gaining weight and they don't like it, they say, okay, I'm going to lose weight. Y'all just say, oh no, I'm getting thick. And then end up on your deathbed with diabetes and a foot cut off. Okay. Y'all do that all y'all want. But when the consequences come, like men not liking you or death, that's your business. That's your business. Don't bring us up into it. We're the ones that wanted to choose that lifestyle. You wanted to choose, those types of things. Deal with that, you know?
Like, yo, I'm so glad she called y'all out because listen, like, y'all are the main ones on this app all the time. As soon as a black girl does something on here, y'all be quick. I don't know how many times I've seen a black girl on here, they do a makeup or they do a hairstyle, and half the comments are like, sis, this isn't neat with the way you thought it did. Sis, maybe sometimes not everybody's meant to be a braider. Sis, da da da. Like, I don't know why you always complain with people's head, right? Sis, your makeup ain't eating the way it is. Sis, that outfit ain't da da da. Y'all literally just complained about a fucking statue that was in New York for black people, but yet y'all complain acting like y'all don't get representation for black people. Yo.
Well, she said it all. She said it all, you know? People are just tired. This is why black fatigue is trending so hard, and you see this pushback where they're trying to make it seem like, oh, you're being racist. Da, da, da. No, and that's a problem now. That's why you're causing even more black fatigue because y'all are annoying. Y'all actually are exhausting to be around, and it's getting to the point where people don't want to be around you, and they're making it very clear. Yeah, I don't like black people. People are literally now starting to say, you know what? I don't. And who's gonna check me? Certainly not you. Because y'all said you don't have power, so how are you gonna check them? Weird. Oh, you're gonna cancel them? Okay, let's see how that works. you know? And she was so right about the statue as well. Y'all, oh, yeah. You know, like people, they always say, oh, we want representation, but the statue, y'all are treating it like it's the most horrifying thing ever. You would have thought they put Godzilla up there. Literally. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. And this is why, to me, it's so disingenuous. It's so, whenever y'all complain about stuff, I'm just like, oh, must be lying. Must not be that serious. Because y'all, every single time, are lying. even about that Lululemon shit. And I'm gonna expose that too. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going there too. Everything that's been happening, I'm going in. The black fatigue, the Lululemon, the gingers are black, but J Barbie is somehow white, even though she has a black dad that we have proof of. Babe, y'all are delusional. Delusional. Literally. And like the saying, they're always in people's comments, oh, if your hair is not seriously perfect, right? You're just like, oh, you don't do hair good like that, da da da. And all this stuff. Meanwhile, y'all are walking around with 2 weeks worth of lace glue on your fucking forehead with acne, stinking up the place with a bonnet on, in your with house slippers outside and a bathrobe. I've seen bitches in bathrobes outside. Huh? I don't give a fuck if it's Sunday. Can you put on some fucking clothes? Y'all are disgusting. That's the problem now. I just don't care. I just don't care. You know? We don't, nobody wants to pander to you anymore. You've lost allies, because I used to be an ally. I used to, everyone used to try and, support and all of this stuff. We're tired now because y'all are liars. Y'all do way too much, right? And especially y'all will claim that you're so for other black women, supporting black businesses. Y'all are the same ones tearing them down. Y'all are the same ones hating each other and hating Keith Lee for raiding restaurants and saying that you're threatening. Who else but black people would threaten to beat up and unalive Keith Lee, a food review critic? Who else but y'all? But when we say y'all are aggressive, oh, y'all are being racist. Okay. But somehow threatening to unalive people repeatedly. Y'all do this a lot. Y'all do this a lot where you instantly go to threatening to beat up or unalive people when you feel offended or you feel upset. Let's be real. Y'all are not helping stereotypes. Y'all are not helping your collective image or anything like that. And you know what? Continue on. You can't keep saying the CIA is doing stuff. No, it's y'all. It's really y'all. And it's what you get. It's, oh well. That's what you have to deal with, honestly. Because these are the decisions that you've made. This is the image that you keep promoting, and you only want to see according to the statistics. Because what do we see all the time, y'all? If we seriously, if being I don't know, that type of woman that we saw in the first TikTok, right? Really sold, we would see more of that, right? Y'all can say whatever you want about white people wanting to destroy you and stuff like that, but if that shit sells, they're going to promote it. Because sex sells, because of degeneracy selling, because of your horrible choices and things like that. It sells so much and you want to see it so much and you love the hood. You love it so much. You love the hood, but you don't want to repair it. Sure. Love the hood but don't want to live there when you get a certain amount of money. Okay, but you're gonna claim, or you're gonna rep it, you're gonna rep old block so much. Okay, when you're out of there living in Calabasas. Disingenuous. Fuck y'all. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Moral of the story, y'all are liars. We're all tired, and you can't convince me. You're not going to gaslight me. And also, I'm not sorry about that Halle Bailey video. I meant what I said. I'm not taking it back. And you can just keep crying about it. Yeah. Thank you. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Bye.